when you win and you overflow your cup, that's opportunity to help them win. But you can't stop filling your cup up to help them, because now y'all both got half full cups, giving each other half.
That's a bar.
Thank you.
I can help you out when my cup is overfilling.
Yeah,
but my
and
cup
then
is
you
not
can have
full.
the rest to help you out.
Yeah,
and that'll fill your cup up, because my cup is overflow. So what I have in my cup is mine, but what overflows will help to raise yours a little bit more.
Hey.
Hi. Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm pulling up to my house right now.
No rush. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're on here, though. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, too. I just got done delivering some clothes to some people who bought some stuff yesterday.
That's what's up. Always on the grind. Hustling.
Yes.
Hustle.
Always.
So
but I heard a little bit about what you were saying, and I appreciate that. You got everything right, too. That's everything I do.
Yes. Indie Galore. I love that name. Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about the origins of that name?
Yeah, so it's actually Indie Galore. It means different in many ways. I actually came up with the name in high school because I always knew I wanted to use that name for a brand. And what it means is, when I say different in many ways, it means to be you. So a little story on how the name came about. In high school, I would always dress in different ways, and I tell this story all the time. I would dress sometimes in rainbow, sometimes in all black, sometimes in country, and people would give me all of these different stereotypes. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to be white because I'm wearing country. No, I'm not gay because I'm wearing rainbow. And no, I'm not atheist because I'm wearing all black. Yeah, so people give me these times.
People are actually afraid to wear certain things. They're afraid to be themselves because of the stereotypes. They don't want to be stereotypes. But maybe you like to wear all black. Maybe you like rainbow. But you're so worried about what other people have to say, you won't wear it.
Yes.
So I'm trying to break the stereotypes and get people to just be them, to wear what you want, and not worry so much about what other people have to say about you.
I love that. You know what? It's crazy that we landed on this topic about breaking stereotypes, and then your perspective on it. Because when I saw that you were promoting that, or you had that post up there about breaking stereotypes, I just wondered where you were going with that. Because you might have a different spin or perspective on breaking stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in general, breaking stereotypes is very important.
Yes.
But you going as far as saying the things that you wore, people were generalizing you or putting you in a box just because of the things you wore, even though it wasn't, intended for whatever somebody else might think it was intended for. And I was thinking about, as I was doing my hair today, I just started my locks recently in June. And so I was thinking about how much I love them, but I was thinking about how my reason for doing it was probably way different than for the next person that does it.
Yeah.
I mean, people have different spiritual reasons or intentions behind their life. But me, I feel like my journey is very personal. No matter, like, when you see me, you might see Afrocentric, or you might see, those boxes that people like to put it in. But for me, I feel like it was something totally different for that. For me, it was about a growth. It was a growth process for me because I'm graduating from college next year. And so I thought it'd be dope to see, once this transition is ended for me, it's going to represent wisdom for me as I see my locks grow, So
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's my
I
friend.
also want to get locked.
Me as well. I'm so excited. We're excited too. I can't wait.
He's my biggest supporter.
Yes, we need those. I got my biggest border behind me. She's sitting on the couch tuning into Bliss Talk. She tunes in
Hey.
every Monday and Thursday. Doctor, she says, hey. She said, hi. But yeah, that's dope. I love that perspective on breaking stereotypes. The next thing I wanted to get into it with, because you're a fashion designer, I want to know what was, I saw some of the pieces that you put together and they're so cute. I would have never thought to put those pieces together. So
Thank you.
what is, can you describe like the most creative ensemble you've ever done or you've seen someone you look up to do?
For me, I always, even when I was younger, I always thought about who I look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been so hard because I feel like when it comes to anything fashion related, I just never really look up to anyone because I'm always creating new things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the most unique pieces I've ever made, when it comes to styling, and when it comes to just creating, when I was in, I think, elementary school or either 6th grade, for me, I've made, of course, better stuff, but this was so unique to me because of my age. I made an entire purse out of cardboard and a book cover. So and I took the cardboard and I glued it together, put a handle, put the cover on there, and I made a purse. And then recently I just made a t-shirt. And I can actually show y'all right now.
Yes, show us.
Let me show y'all right now. Let me see if I actually have a shirt that I made. Yep, here we go. Okay, so let me show y'all. This is, let me tell
you. Froze a little bit. Come back to us. Hopefully this irons out. You know how connection and technology gets. Come back to us. Maybe if I exit out and then bring you back in, it might work. Let's try that. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Indie Galore will be right back with us. So I cannot wait to see what piece she shows.
I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
But it's like I seen everything and I seen you talking. I was like, what happened?
Let's see it.
So let me show y'all. This is a piece that I'm working on now for someone. But I want to show y'all this little piece. This is actually not one that I'm currently selling, but this is one that I actually made and I ended up bleaching and everything. But I just want to show everybody how it started off. So it started off as this. And what I did was I cut this out. And when I cut it out, I set it to the side and I cut it into strips. I then turned the shirt inside out. Then I took the strip. I cut the bottom. I took a strip when I cut the bottom to make it into a tank top. And I put the words "no" on it, no access to my heart. Flip the shirt inside out. And then put the printed piece inside of it. And then I took this inside out. And then I put this on here as chains. But it started off as this. And I literally revamped one t-shirt. So one t-shirt turned into this right here. But of course, this was my first version, so it's a little messy. But I actually ended up selling some of these. And I actually sold about a few of them so far.
That's very creative. So on the inside of that, I can't really see, but the bar behind the bars, is it a heart or is it?
So it's actually just the word "no."
Oh, okay.
And it just means no access to my heart.
Okay. That's very creative.
Thank you.
You go, girl.
Thank you.
I love that. So let's see. What do you think that your followers or your base or your supporters love most about your brand?
What they love most about my brand? I believe they love most that they can also feel empowered too. That my brand is not just for me. my brand is not just for me making money, it's for them and it's about them. And they can be included in everything that I do. Because what I'm about to do, and I haven't even told my supporters yet. I told a few people. Mm-hmm. Every video that I come out with is a movement that we already have. Mm-hmm. And I want to unify the world. Mm-hmm. But the world isn't unified because it's just a lot of things going on, and people feel like their movement is more important than the other movement, when every movement is important. So I'm taking every movement in this world, even though I cannot do every movement, I'm taking every movement that I can possibly take. Any issue that we have in this world, and I'm creating t-shirts for it and videos for it. Then whatever movement you want to be a part of or that you are a part of, you can take my video and use it. You can take my shirt and use it. But at the same time, everyone who's a part of different movements are coming to my page and my brand, and we're unifying. I'm wearing Indie Galore. You're wearing Indie Galore. What do you support? Okay, you support that. I support this. But at the end of the day, we're still unified. So no movement is more important than another movement. They're all important. We just have to figure out which movement you want to be a part of. So I'm trying to just make that happen for people. The next video I'll be releasing is about self-love. So anyone who's really into self-love, they can take that video, feel empowered, and then share it and empower other people. And then I have 2 more that's coming. And I'm not going to speak on those yet because I'm still in the works of it. But it'll be 2 additional movements that people can use.
I mean, what you were saying, it just reminded me of, how I use collaboration as a key,
Yes.
Can't do this alone. And when you create something or you start something from scratch, like, more respect to you, because that thing is hard. It's hard to do,
It is.
So and other people might have things going on, but there's no reason why we can't work together and support each other. Organizations, for example, Bliss Talk, I, of course, the face of it, but as you can see, T. Walker helps out with it too, and I have someone putting the videos up there that helps me with the communication of it. And obviously, T. Walker has so many other things that he works on, but
I've seen that.
Helps me out with the Bliss Talks, and I love what you said about everybody has their own movement, but we can come together and collaborate as well.
Yes. And I know T. Walker, he's big on that because I actually met him at the Atlanta Indie Market. And he had came to Atlanta. I met him at the Atlanta Indie Market, bought some water from him, and then he hit me up, and I was like, wow, like he really cares about helping people, because he said that there, like at the Indie Market, and how he would take things from the Indie Market and then sell them and give the money to you just to help you get the word out into different places. And he's stuck by that. Even now, I'm literally, because he hit me up and I met him and now I'm here.
Yes, he's definitely a hard worker, very inspiring. I sent him a text the other day. You got to reach out to people. When you see them doing great things, you have to reach out to say, I'm extremely proud of you. That goes a long way.
I don't think people realize.
Let's see.
Exactly.
We talked about breaking stereotypes tonight. We talked about, what are some of the most creative ensembles you came up with, and you showed us this awesome piece where you actually made up bars and then something behind it. I think that is really, really cool. And we also talked about what you think your followers like most about your brand. You were talking about how you're willing to collaborate and work with other ground up organizations, so to speak. Let's talk about, I'm trying to read my writing, bear with me. What does that say? Oh, sharing our culture. You had this post about Adele, and she had the Jamaican attire on, and a lot of people look at that photo and they're like, she looks crazy, but you have a different perspective on that. Can you talk about your perspective on that?
Yes, so I'm trying to actually remember that post. It was Adele, and she had like the like she was at like an event or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, do you remember exactly what I wrote in that post?
Not exactly. No, but I
Okay, okay.
feel your perspective was a little bit different from what I've seen people say about it. So
I'm trying to remember, but I'm just gonna freestyle because I can't remember exactly what I
yeah.
said. Um, but I just feel like if gosh, I wish I could remember exactly what I said, and I know I can't get off the live. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. But anyways, in the comments when I was reading them, I remember one lady, she said that they feel like it's kind of a respect thing because she's respecting their culture, or she's recognizing their culture. And I feel like when people wear different things, like people wear their hair a certain way, and they may say, well, you're trying to wear it like an African American person or things like that. And I understand that. I understand how people feel and cultural appropriation and things like that. But I also feel they're being themselves and they're being bold in their own self. And I understand, like, sometimes people don't give credit to the Black community for their hair and things like that. But I feel like we have to give the credit to our own selves first. We have to, because if we're giving the most credit to ourselves, we don't have to worry about them not giving credit to ourselves. That's how I feel about it. Another thing is, I feel like with Adele, she was just showing off her happiness and how she felt about things. I don't think she was thinking in any other way, but that's just how I feel about it.
Okay. You know, it's difficult to chat about that because that it's so polarizing to talk about cultural appropriation, you know?
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, there were some people that weren't of color that were part of culture too. They were Caucasian, but they grew up in the same neighborhood, and so they have the same kind of swag or accent and stuff like that. And so now it's so controversial, like them being themselves, just how they grew up, you know. It might cause someone to tear that down or, you know, call it cultural appropriation when it's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper. But I do recognize that as an African American, sometimes it's hard to watch people of a different nationality make money off of the stuff that, you know,
it's a lot that goes into it too. That's why I'm like, I wish I would remember exactly what I said because it was so deep that I don't even remember what I said because the post was so deep and I was like in my mind. I'm just like, what did I say about that?
Yeah.
It was so much deeper and I'm just trying to remember. But yeah, I feel like we just have to give more credit to ourselves because I feel like we don't, if we gave credit to ourselves, we wouldn't have to worry about who was getting credit to us because we would be the ones in the eye of the public. Does that make sense?
I feel like that's what we're doing nowadays. We are definitely taking responsibility of the culture right now.
A lot,
and then also praising other people that we see are doing great things, that we see are being very innovative. You know, we're praising our Black sisters and brothers rather than tearing them down. I'm seeing a lot more praising because there was a day where it was like crab in the bucket mentality, but I'm seeing us build and really unify as a culture and as a race. So
a lot is changing, even with the news reporter with her hair. I don't know if you've seen that post. She had the afro. You know what I'm talking about? She had the afro with the big.
But tell me.
It was a news reporter, and she just recently went viral because she was on the news doing the weather, and she had a big, it was like a afro puffs going back, and she turned to the side, and you could just see the big afro puffs, and she was on the news, and I feel like I love that because we're being ourselves. I don't feel like it matters what people wear And I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't know how deep I can go. But
I think it's just good to start the conversation about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, me, when I know I go back to work, I just started my locks during the quarantine. So when I go back to work, I don't know what it's going to look like. It's a predominantly white workspace, you know?
Yeah.
So it might scare some people that I'm being, I mean, this is my hair. This is what it looks like, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're having more conversations about this because people need to recognize, like, I mean, like this is a process to go out into this world.
It is.
And you have to downplay your own culture or your own just natural beauty, you know?
Natural you, yeah.
Natural you.
This is who you are.
Exactly. And so if we don't talk about it, then, you know, it gives people the space to oppress you, you know, or suppress your natural beauty.
Yeah. And we're constantly saying, be yourself, be yourself. And I feel like we're finally getting to that point where we're being ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because no one should be judged for just being them. Like this world, we should all just be free. This world, I don't know. I just feel like we should all just be free. Nothing, it shouldn't matter. You know, we're not going to be here forever. Just be you. That's how I feel.
Also, what happened in that election, 4 years ago, Donald Trump took office, and I hate to get political, but I mean, this is where we're at right now. You know?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know how much I can say. Like when you asked me about Adele, I was like, oh, I don't know how much I can say.
No, because that's how we are about these things. It's taboo. We don't want to talk about it, but
yeah,
it's important to talk about it. But 4 years ago, Donald Trump was elected to office, and a lot of us millennials or younger people, we didn't see the point in voting back then. But we saw, we got to visualize what the world or what our society would look like when someone like that is in office. And so, you know what we did a couple of days ago? We was like, we got to cut that out. So we showed up in numbers, okay? Our generation showed up in numbers because we had to learn that lesson, you know?
Yes.
And then also, I feel like this is a little bit more of a liberal generation. We're about that freedom like you're talking about, you know? The ability, we have the ability to break stereotypes. We are the grown-ups now, so we are making a decision.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
we have to make.
Wow, that's so true.
It's our turn to reshape the world and how we want to see it for our grandchildren or growing up. We want them to be able to have the freedom. You know, it's their right. It's our right. So
I love that you say that. Like we're the adults now. That's so crazy. Like we are.
We are.
And we have so much power because we are the adults. Like, we are the adults.
Exactly.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Sometimes I forget. I don't feel like a kid, but I just forget, oh, yeah, like, I'm grown. Like, I'm grown.
Absolutely. It's up to us. Let's see. I got one more question for you. What she wants is rare. I love that. You made a post and you said, you know, you might not see this woman going on a lot of dates or, you know, socializing with a lot of men, or I'm trying to figure out the word that I'm looking for. Let's just use those words for right now until I think of the word. But
okay.
You might not see me going out on a lot of dates or entertaining. Entertaining was the word I was looking for. Entertaining, because what you're looking for is rare. And that is so, like, it's so true. You know, they say you have to kiss a lot of frogs, but I don't want to be putting my lips in all these frogs.
Exactly.
So I want you to kind of give your perspective on that. I wanted us to talk about that tonight.
Okay. And you said basically with me, like, not going out because I stay in most of the time.
Well, you're not into or entertaining guys because what you're looking for is rare. You know, we don't want to have to kiss 1,000 frogs, you know.
Yes, I can definitely get into that. Yeah. So I've never been into that because what I'm looking for is rare. I've never had a boyfriend before until 23 years old because I always knew what I wanted. I always knew that the guys in high school, the guys in college were not ready for me, or I was not I can't say not ready for them, but I just knew that's not what I wanted, and they weren't mature or they hadn't grown. So I've always been willing to be patient, and I've always known in my heart that there's just one person for me, one specific person for me. And what I'm looking for is not someone hollering at me because they have a nice car, they have chains. And this happens to me a lot. I don't care. I hang around people who have way more money than me. And if they start acting up, I'm going to cut them off. I don't care about the money that you have, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to work. And a lot of guys, and not to talk down on men, because that's something that I don't do. I don't like to do. But I will hit them up to network, and then they would into flirting. And then I would try to revert back to networking, but then I don't feel comfortable anymore. So what they don't understand is that I'm different. And I know a lot of people say they're different, but no, I'm really different. And I want to work with you. I'm not trying to flirt with you. I want to network with you. And there's a specific person who I wanted to work with. They're very credible, but because they were trying to get with me and flirt, I had to cut it off, because that's just not what I'm looking for. And I'll get there another way. I'll work harder. I have my friends, especially Ramia, who's on here right now. She'll help me get to the top. I have people to get to the top. I think we have to stop, I guess, clout chasing, because that's not always safe. Sometimes it's dangerous. And I work with some people, and I'm not going to say any names. I work with some people, and I'm dealing with it now. I'm working with some people who are credible, who when you get into that, they may ask you for a little bit more than what you asked for. And I see a lot of women giving more to get to the top. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to do that to get to the top. I'll just work my way up. Also, this is my first interview, so I have been a little bit nervous. So that's why I'm kind of like when you ask me questions, it's like, oh my God, like this is my fear. This was always my fear. It's like getting a question, just like my mind is shutting off. So that happened like twice already. But that's why, because it's my first interview, and I'm just like,
You're doing well. You're doing well. This is an absolutely free form conversation. I ask you questions that you know more than me about. So you should be very confident. I like to pick people's brains.
Yes, I noticed that. I was like, oh, wow, okay. This is different. Okay.
You're doing very well. So, yeah. I love that, what you said, though, about, it's hard for women to date, I feel like, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I have to force myself to kind of step back from that, the dating, or when to get into something serious, because biologically speaking, they say we only have but so much time to push out a big-headed baby. But at the same time, when you get into these serious relationships, and it might waste your time, and if you're a very career-driven woman and things of that nature, that's why I really related to that, to what you said. What she wants is rare, Yeah. And it is rare.
And I think for me, like with relationships, not relationships, but I guess situationships, because like I said, I've only had one. But with situationships, I feel like I'm always trying to pull them up with me. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay, let me take over your Instagram and help you get some followers. Let me help you get people to, watch your page. This is what you need to do. And I feel like that's what it's always been. And I feel like we need someone who has their own thing going and doing their own thing, where when you fall, they helping you up, but they're not falling. And then you helping them up when they may be, getting tired or something like that. But for me, I feel like a lot of times in relationships, there's one person that's doing great things and the other person wants to get there, but maybe they're just not ready, or they're being weighed down by something else in their life. But then it kind of makes you kind of, I guess, try to help them and forget about your own dreams and goals.
I agree. That's the ideal situation. You know, I found myself in those type of situationships or entanglements. You got the word from Jada. Those entanglements where you know you really want to see that person win, and sometimes that kind of, you have to take a break from what you're doing to see that person win, and then when it doesn't work out, you feel some type of way about it. And so then you become more mindful about the situationships that you're going to put yourself in for the future. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just being aware, or like I said, mindful. Like, I've been here before, so maybe I need to keep a distance, you know? Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you can't still try to build, but build slowly.
Yes. And I learned too. Yeah. When you win and you overflow your cup, that's opportunity to help them win. But you can't stop filling your cup up to help them, because now y'all both got half full cups, giving each other half.
That's a bar.
Thank you.
I can help you out when my cup is overfilling.
Yeah,
you know, my
and
cup
then
is
you
not
can have the rest to help you out. Yeah, and that'll fill your cup up, because my cup is overflowed. So what I have in my cup is mine, but what overflows will help to raise yours a little bit more. If that makes sense.
That was beautiful. I love
Thank
that.
you.
That's probably going to be my clip for when it goes up on YouTube.
I'm excited.
Yes, the very last thing we're going to talk about tonight. This has been an awesome conversation. I appreciate you joining me, India. But will you leave us with a couple of keys and concepts that you picked up on your journey? Something that you learned grinding that you're like, that's epiphany. You know, maybe if I known this sooner, you know, or something like that you can share with us.
I feel like this is the perfect time for this interview, because I actually can answer that now. I've learned you have to be stern. People will try to get over on you. You have to learn to say no. I still deal with anxiety, and I'm actually coming out of that right now. I'm actually more calm than what I would have been a year ago. You have to learn to just say no. You can say it in a nice way, but you have to learn when to say no. You have to learn to tell people what you want and not worry about how they're going to feel about it. So if you want your promo video a certain way, get that promo video a certain way. And if they can't do that promo video, don't worry about, well, I still want to do this video because of, you know, who they are, or what they're doing, or things like that. If something's not working out, don't go to them just because you feel that they're credible or whatever. Go to your friends, you know, and if they can't do it right, you figure it out. There actually, with my video, I had some issues, and I ended up taking it and editing it myself. So sometimes you have to do that. Another thing that I learned is to tell your story through everything. Don't worry. I was so worried about making my page look this way and look that way. I finally organized it, But tell your story, because like this, everyone's selling stuff. Everyone's selling a shirt. Everyone's selling jewelry, lip gloss. Everybody's selling it. But when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I'm looking to buy a story. I'm not looking to just buy your lip gloss, because I can literally buy lip gloss from anywhere. So I think I learned to tell your story. Remember to tell your story and just be open. Unlock that private page. I know you're worried because you're very closed up. I used to have a private page as well. But you're worried about people getting into your life because, you know, you're secretive. But how about you take the secrets off of your Instagram? Like, take your kids off. Take off your family. Take off whatever that you don't want people to see, or leave it up there and don't worry about what people have to say. Now, if it's for safety reasons, you don't want people to see your kids, take it off and grow your brand, but don't lock your page up. You got to be more open. Stop worrying about what other people are going to say about you, and just be you. The last thing I want to say is just do it. Just start it. Just start it. Like, people always telling me, I want to do this, I want to do that. What is holding you back? If you want to get started, just do it. Just buy the supplies and do it, because you're so worried about where you are today. But you got to understand, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't do it, because you're not going to get anybody to even come your way. With me, people have came my way because I started it. You came my way because I started it. But in order to get anywhere, you have to start, and the right people will come to you because they will see that you're actually doing something. You go to an event, you never know who you will meet. I met T. Walker, and now I'm here. So if you just started, you may think, oh, I only have 1 follower, 2 followers. I literally posted it on my page, thing on my first t-shirt on Twitter and on Etsy. And a lady from Alabama commented, never met her in my life. I never tweet, and she bought a shirt. So it's like, just do it. Put it on Etsy. People from all over will type in freedom t-shirt, white t-shirt with this on it, Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and you will pop up, but you just have to start it. So I want everyone to start what they want to start. Don't worry about, the amount of people that you don't have, because it's going to grow. People are looking for a story. So tell your story.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And thank you for saying that very first key that you said, make sure that your vision comes out exactly the way you want it to come out. And don't be afraid to grapple with it, and have some grit there when it comes to your vision. I know often we are looked at, especially Black, when we looked at divas, when we ask for specific things, but I just wanted to put that out to whoever is watching today. If you're working on somebody and it's their vision, help them with that vision, and don't take if they're asking specifics, because you want that for your own vision. It's a respect thing. It's a give and a take when it comes to working and collaborating with people. So
because I used to be nervous as well to just ask for what I wanted, and then I had to learn I'm paying for this service. Exactly. And if I'm not paying for it,
right,
could you at least try to get it right? And if not, okay, that's fine. It's free. So I mean, I'll work with you if I can, but if not, then but go somewhere else.
It never hurts to ask. Don't be afraid of that confrontation. If they have, or if they're pushing back or giving their own opinion, you can listen to it, but then you make the final decision if this is your project,
Yes. Oh, I want to say one more thing, and I'm going to let you go. One more thing that just came to mind. Never be afraid to ask questions. The reason I'm here today is because I started opening my mouth. So recently, I worked with a stylist. She actually styles celebrities. But I was scared to ask this woman if I could shadow her. And someone in the room asked if she would allow people to shadow her. Now, I should open my mouth. But if I didn't, I would have never had that opportunity.
Right.
So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to DM the people who you think won't respond.
Oh, yeah.
Because opportunities will come. Don't be afraid to go up to that person. And then one more thing, I'm sorry. Don't be afraid to because I was afraid of this. If someone follows you and they are famous, they're verified, they have 295 followers, and you're like, I don't want to beg them to watch this video. I don't want to beg them to promote this for me. I don't want to beg them to ask for advice, because they may unfollow me. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or they may not look into my content anymore. Don't worry about that, because what are they following you for? Like, how can I put it? If they're following you, they're just following you, doing nothing for you. So why not take the chance to ask them to do something for you to benefit you? Because now you just have a follower that's doing nothing for you, which is okay. That's awesome. They followed you. Yes. But what are they doing for you? So don't be afraid to ask those people. And this is from experience, because I was afraid. I had to check myself. I'm like, I don't want to ask this person to promote for me, because what if they unfollow me and they're this person? But I was like, okay, it's just a follow. So what am I going to lose? What am I going to lose?
Mouths don't get fed. That's the key right there.
Yeah.
Do not get fed. This has been absolutely wonderful conversation. I go by Carmen Bliss. You guys can follow me at cbliss_pic. You can also subscribe to that YouTube page. Please, 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 I beg of thee to subscribe to it. It's free, and we put material like this that helps, the next person that's trying to get into the fields and things of that nature. You could also visit my website, blisstalkshow.life. And there's also some t-shirts up there for sale as well. They're really cute. We got plenty of the green ones up there. People seem to really like those. And before we get out of here, we're going to have Indie Galore let us know how that we can support her. And while she's doing that, if you guys have any questions, type it in that chat box for me, please.
So the way you all can support me is, of course, you can buy a shirt on indiegaloreshop.com. But the main thing I want for myself right now is I want people to promote my Black Lives Matter video, because unfortunately Instagram blocked me from promoting it. So right now, I just really want people to watch that video, share it, and just get the word out, because I'm really trying to change the world more than anything. But if y'all want to buy a shirt, they are buy one, get one free.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't see any questions in here, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit my inbox or Miss Indie Galore's inbox. How do you get out of feeling stuck and not creative? How do you get out of feeling stuck and not creative? You want to answer that one?
Yeah, I can answer it. For me, how I get out of being stuck and feeling creative is I actually just take time for my own self, or I'll go into nature. I feel like nature always helps me because it's fresh oxygen. Sometimes we feel stuck because we are stuck. We're stuck in the house. And sometimes you need to get out and just, I know it sounds simple, but just go into nature and let the air just fill you up. Another thing is sometimes I have to figure out what's making me stuck. Is it bills? Is it bills that's on the front of my mind, and my creativity is on the back of my mind? I have to figure out what's clogging my mind, deal with that, and the creativity never goes. If you're a creative, you're never going to stop being creative. Sometimes it's something blocking you that you haven't dealt with that you need to deal with first. And once you deal with that, your creativity can flow, because now that everything in your mind is gone, it's empty. All of your creativeness is now back. The positive energy is back. You know what I'm saying? And then just eating better. Sometimes when I don't eat right, I just feel like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. But I think the main thing is really just figuring out what's keeping you stuck. What are you thinking about the most? What haven't you tackled? And once you tackle that, I think your creative mind and your creative spirit will come back, because it never went away. It's always there.
Absolutely. That was a great question and really good answer as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank you, Risa.
Asked, what inspired you to start?
What inspired me to start? So I've always wanted to be a fashion designer. And in high school, like I said, I always just dressed so crazy and different. And I always just wanted to change the world. Like, I know that's what I'm meant for. I've known this for a while. And when I say this, people may look at it as small, but I'm just meant to change the world. I'm meant to bring new ideas into the world. And my passion is what inspired me. The passion of changing the world inspired me, because I know that's what I want to do. And I'm going to change it. I'm going to take like these different movements, and I'm going to give that movement to you, and together we change the world. If that makes sense. Together we're going to change the world. But if you can take my video and share it, you did your part in the world. But I feel like it all starts with us. We're all leaders. We all can be leaders.
We all have that capacity to make change, especially
because we've all come from different walks of life, which means we all have different experiences to help other people.
Absolutely.
We don't always have to look up to people. We don't always have to wait for the president to make change. We can make change with ourselves, because it really starts with us. But so many people are kind of afraid to, speak up and things like that. But I think it just starts with us. It starts with you. You have a story. Don't be afraid to tell that story, because you could change the world as well. Not just me. Everyone can. You know, and if you don't feel comfortable telling your story online, maybe you could make an account behind. You don't have to show your face. But if, you know, I feel like we all can change the world. We all have that power. No one is, you know, more powerful than another, because if we're all human, I can do what you can do and you can do what I can do, because we're all human beings.
We all have special superpowers as well.
Yeah.
So think about what your superpower is. What do you think your purpose is?
Yeah.
And take your time meditating on that. What do you think that you can give back to the world?
Mm-hmm.
But once again, India, this has been great. Thank you for having a 30-minute inspiring Bliss talk with me. Our listeners have been so great as well, giving their feedback and input to the conversation as well. Be sure to go check this episode out. It'll be right here in my IGTV as soon as I press this end button, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Have a good day.